All right. I want to say good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you guys are joining us from. And I want to say a very big happy International Women's Day to all the women in the house, not just the women in the house, women in the whole world, because we have people joining us from different parts of the world today for this event. So, International Women's Day today, the 8th day of March 2026, is a global celebration of women's achievements, resilience, and impact across every sphere of society. So at EduAfric, we believe that empowering women through education and global opportunities is one of the most powerful ways to transform generations. That is why this year we have decided to bring together women who have dared, persisted, and also achieved to have an honest conversation on the topic career and home. Can a woman really thrive in both without compromise? So I have lovely women in the house, women who have actually done a lot in their respective careers. I'll be introducing them one after the other. And let me share, at this time, let me share my screen. Ah, oh. Yeah, Dr. Bliss, you're welcome. I was wondering what happened to your.
Sorry, the network.
All right. I don't know if you guys can see my screen slideshow. Yeah. All right. So, like I said, today is International Women's Day celebration, and it's hosted by Education African Scholars Global Connect, a non-profit organization that is actually there to assist young people all over the world to achieve their study abroad dreams. So we have, like I said, a lot of women on ground, and we're going to introduce them one after the other. So the first person on my list is Dr. Blaze Uchechi, who is a senior lecturer at Michael University of Agriculture, Umudike. Her work in environmental biochemistry, pollution assessment, and innovative plant micro biomediation has driven major initiatives, including the UKA aid-sponsored innovation to market program, where our solution has also incubated and funded, resulting in a patented product that restores soil fertility and health. She has published extensively and continues to strengthen scientific knowledge and policy across Africa. Passionate about mentoring, Dr. Onyedikachi established of the American Chemical Society International Chapter of Michael University of Agriculture, Umudike, to provide a platform where students can grow and develop global scientific leadership skills. She also founded You Too Can Make It, a mentorship initiative that has empowered young people in communication, leadership, and securing scholarships. She is the TWAS awardee. TWAS means the World Academy of Sciences, an international network for government science advice Africa mentee, a fellow of Nigerian Society, a fellow of Nigerian Science Leadership Program, and currently serves as the Vice President of Communication and Public Engagement at ASFI. Join me and welcome Dr. Bliss. Dr. Bliss, can you say hi to the public, please?
Hello, everyone. It's so good to be here. Like I said earlier, I celebrate all the amazing women in the house, including those the male counterparts that have been supporting us all through our journey. I celebrate all of you. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
All right. Our next guest speaker is Isabel Mago. Isabel is a Chevening scholar and a first-class graduate of biochemistry from Michael Okpara University of Agriculture, Umudike, Nigeria, with an MSc distinction in career biology and therapeutics from Cardiff University, UK. She's currently studying with the Cancer Research UK Scotland Institute, exploring how exposures to environmental pressures can influence pancreatic cancer incidence and outcomes in patients of the African diaspora. Apart from being an advocate for health style, lifestyle choices, she enjoys discussing youth inclusivity, gender equality, affirmative action, and girl-child emancipation. She is passionate about driving relevant societal changes to bring about sustainable growth and development in the education and healthcare sectors in Nigeria and Africa. She seeks to create a social enterprise for budding females going into STEM to further bridge the gender divide in a professional settings and increase the manpower required for positive advancement. Ladies and gentlemen, join me to welcome Isabel Wagon. Isabel, can you say hi to the audience, please?
Hello, everyone. It's such an honor to be here, and I celebrate everyone and everyone in the house. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome. And happy International Women's Day. All right. Our next guest speaker is Urenna Onyebuchi. She graduated with a master's degree and a Doctor of Philosophy degree in electrical engineering from Georgia's Institute of Technology in Atlanta, Georgia, United States of America, and a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering from George Mason University. Dr. Onyebuchi has saved industrial plants and power utilities millions of dollars in energy management and power quality initiatives for more than 15 years. Wow. She spent over 10 years of her formative years in Nigeria, West Africa, where her passion for power and energy were born. She is the executive director of Aneru Solutions Incorporated, where she tackles some of the world's worst power challenges through technical conferences, hackathons, and monthly webinars. Dr. Ure enjoys mentoring young engineers, including female engineers, in career success, academic success, and relationship success. Wow, our female engineers have a lot to learn today from Dr. Ure. Hi, Dr. Ure, can you say hi to everyone and happy International Women's Day? You are muted.
Thank you, Stanley, and I'm excited to be here today. And I'm very impressed by the work that your organization is doing around mentoring young people. So I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. And I'm also happy that you're also into the same business with us. So we might collaborate to mentor together.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. So our next guest speaker is Linda Obikwelo. Linda is a climate governance and environmental risk specialist with a strong foundation in ecology, who is deeply committed to building resilient communities. At University of Buea, Cameroon, she earned both her bachelor's and master's in botany and graduated as one of the best students in the Department of Plant Sciences. Linda's work focuses on climate change governance, flood risk adaptation, food system resilience, and equitable disaster preparedness. Her career blends science, leadership, and strategy. And then she's currently serving, or she currently serves as the CEO of Chilox Homes and Properties and the unit manager of at Grit Holdings Nigeria. With experience as both a project manager and lecturer, she understands how policy, community engagement, and leadership intersect. She is also a board member of Edu Africa Scholars, contributing to governance and expanding global education access. Linda's journey reflects strength, strategy, and service. Linda, if you're in the house, can you say hi to our audience? You are muted.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be among wonderful people. And I look forward to this insightful section. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, and happy International Women's Day.
Thank you, sir.
Another woman, and the strong woman also, who has also uh, done a lot of great things in her area, is Dr. Evelyn Adekolu. She's a board member. She's a board certified in, she's a board certified internal medicine physician at Yale in Connecticut. She completed her residency at University of Connecticut Health Center in 2014. For the past 12 years, she has worked as a hospitalist physician at Yale, a hospitalist physician at Yale, where she administers comprehensive care to acutely ill adults. She also holds a leadership position as medical director of a unit at Yale. She's an assistant professor of medicine at the Yale School of Medicine. She also serves on several committees that involve quality improvement and is currently deputy officer in that role. Wow. She's passionate about women's health and preventive medicine and loves to share her knowledge to impact the lives of women. That's impressive. She has organized several community events, speaking engagements on health, and church health fairs over the years. She has also been on the planning committee of medical mission in other countries, including Uganda and Dominican Republic. Ladies and gentlemen, join me to welcome Dr. Evelyn Adekolu. Dr. Evelyn, if you're in the house, please can you say hi to the audience?
Hello, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here. Stanley, thank you for this kind invitation and introduction to my fellow colleagues. It's such a pleasure to be among powerful women. And to everyone listening, I pray that you're going to be able to get something that you can use to kind of change the trajectory of your career as well as your home life. And thank you for all the work you're doing, Stanley, and your organization as well. Such an important work for our youth today. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
thank you for thanking us. All right. The last, but not the least, is a special guest who is going to add a different color from what we are going to discuss today. She is an American mother. So, this is Dr. Hilary Nepa, a professor of public administration at Pace University and currently serves as the Associate Provost for Student Success. She is also the co-editor-in-chief of Journal of Social Equity and Public Administration and the District 1 National Council representative of the American Society for Public Administration. Before entering academia, she spent more than 2 decades working in nonprofit organizations and local government, where she focused on improving access to services for vulnerable populations, strengthening collaborations across sectors, and also advancing program evaluation and governance. Her research and professional work focuses on social equity, gender and intersectionality in public administration, public policy outcomes, and cross-sector collaborations in health and human services. In addition to teaching and research, she has played an active leadership role in the public administration community, including service with Section for Women in Public Administration and other professional associations dedicated to advancing equity and inclusion in public service. Through her scholarship, leadership, and decades of service, she continues to champion policies and practices that expand opportunity, strengthen public institutions, and also improve the lives of underserved communities. Please, Dr. Hilary, if you're in the house, please, can you say hi to the audience? Oh, Dr. Hilary, if you're there, can you say hi to the audience? I think you're muted. Don't know. All right. Okay, it's okay. All right. Maybe I would, while we are going on, I would reach out to her in the private chat to see. All right. So thank you all for honoring this invitation and for being part of this conversation, this very wonderful conversation today. I want to start from uh, on in no particular order. I just want to throw out some questions. There are some guided questions we're going to be discussing today. And while this session is going on, for the audience, if you have any question or any contribution, you can type in the chat box so that our secretary can actually point it out to us probably at the end of the event. But for now, we have some guided questions that we're going to be, that will spark up the conversation. So while the conversation is going on, if the audience have any question, they can also ask. And at the end of our, when we must have exhausted, our guided questions, we can now leave the floor open for the audience to, if you want to ask directly, if you have any question that you have typed in the chat box, we can also look at those ones. But for now, what we're going to be doing is to work with the guided question. And today, I'm going to start with Dr. Bliss, please. Dr. Bliss,
Yeah.
looking at your journey, was there ever a season when career and family demands conflicted with your work? Like, has there been a time that these two things conflicted? And how did you navigate it without losing yourself or your vision?
Yeah, thank you so much, Stanley. Like I said, it's always a delight when in a space where we share knowledge, especially women, uplifting women, you know. A lot of women are now in career, no longer the old stories where women stay at home. A lot of women, I'm so glad, are beginning to, come to the reality of, while raising our family, we also should pay attention to our career. But how did I do that? How did I navigate without losing myself? That's a very beautiful question. That's because, first of all, um, I had this belief that I could always paint a very beautiful picture of family and career. So I would say that I bond this idea first of all in my mind. So yes, there have been definitely seasons when career and family demand seem to compete for the same time, the same energy. Like if some of you were observant, you could see that my children were running around and I was giving them signs like, oh, mommy wants to talk and all of those. Yeah. So that's what it looks like. You know, I believe many women, especially those in academia like myself, people in leadership, I read this evening. We all experience moments when professional expectations and family responsibility converge in ways that feel very overwhelming. Sometimes for me, it's deadlines for research, teaching responsibilities, mentoring students, because nobody's going to ask you what's happening at your home front, conferences, administrative roles, writing papers, and all of those. And we sometimes find them coincide with important family needs. In those moments, the challenge is not simply managing time, but rather, for me, I try to manage my priorities. And priorities for me, just like we're always taught that we should maintain a work-life balance, it does not mean that work and then that the work now is your career. Work and then your family balance does not mean that you must pay equal attention to everything all at the same time. That's why I said I try to set my priorities It means recognizing that life moves in seasons. In some seasons, certain responsibilities were paramount for me, and it required all my focus. While in other seasons, I shifted my priorities. For example, I just want to share something that is relatable to many women here. While I was still on my running my PhD program, I got pregnant for my last baby. And at that point, I knew that I could not resign from work, and I needed to juggle both at the same time. So, how did I set my priorities? While pregnant, I knew I had to work in the lab. I had to, do all my lab work. I had my PhD in another institution far away from where I lived. So it required me traveling and all of those. So I worked assiduously to ensure I finished my lab work, knowing that when I have my baby, I'm going to have to change priority, you see. And so when my baby arrived, what did I do? I knew my baby needed my entire attention. That's why I said I had to set my priorities straight, and that really helped me. And while juggling nursing period, I used my free times, to write my thesis. I tried to reach out to my supervisors, and thank God they were very supportive. And the end of it, I think a few months down the line after my nursing, after nursing my baby, after my leave, I defended my PhD. And at the end of the day, I was successful at both. So definitely, there are times when the demands are really, really tough. I'll tell you, it was not easy at all. There are times I used to cry. Yeah, those times are there, but then that does not mean we're not strong. No, they actually built us, and we had times to ask ourselves questions like, why did I even start the first place? And if I knew my visions were something I could not really delegate, something that I don't want to go down, something I really want to achieve, that kept me in my low moments. Then secondly, what again helped me, I had a clear sense of purpose, like I said. Those times when I used to cry, I'll ask myself, why did you start the first place? I remember telling my husband that I really wanted to impart life. Then I did not know what the definition for impartation was. I just knew I wanted to be a great woman, somebody who would touch lives. I knew I was a teacher, but I did not really have a full picture of what I wanted to be. So, but I knew I had a clear sense of purpose, and it's going to be one step at a time. I don't know if somebody here has read the book written by Mensa Otabil, the Ghanaian author that wrote a book on goal setting. Yeah. So there he said, we should make sure your vision is clear. And what's your vision? Your vision is your clear purpose, what you want to achieve, your big picture. Okay, and that was what I did. And then what did I do next? I tried to break down my goals into achievable, I broke them down into achievable targets, and one step at a time, I was able to, get where I am today. So I think I'll have to stop here so we'll listen to other women. Then down
Wow.
the line, yes, I'll add some of my stories and what really inspired me and motivated me to what I've become today. Although
Wow. That's
I'm still work in progress, actually. Yeah,
what caught my attention in your response is when you talked about um juggling PhD with childbearing. I mean,
yeah,
it's
I
these
did
are
it.
two heavy
Yeah,
challenges. I mean, for you to navigate
yeah.
through, you must be a very strong woman. And then I must confess, that's because I am doing PhD, I know what PhD means. Then combining the PhD with childbearing, no. But thank God. So, all right, Dr. Evelyn, I come to you now? So, in how were you able to? Okay, have there been a time that this two things clashed, and how were you able to navigate the process?
I'm sure there's going to be some overlap in our responses because I think there's usually strategies that work. Number one, I think I kept, just like Dr. Bliss mentioned, I kept my vision at hand. Like, this is what I want to accomplish, and this is the timeline. I think I can give an example. For instance, for me, I would say three things that helped me was faith, the purpose, and my vision, and my family, to be honest with you. So in trying to balance when things seemed like they were off, I would definitely ask for help. But also still keep the purpose in mind is that I want to be a physician and this is how I'm going to do it. My example for when I think it was a little rocky was when I was just starting my residency. So after college, you go to medical school. After medical school, you go to residency training to train in the hospital of how to be a doctor. So in my first year of residency, I got married. So now I had to plan a wedding as well as figure out how to navigate my residency. So I was planning the wedding and navigating residency. So that was the first challenge. But I knew that I could not wait anymore because at that time, the medicine was my second career. And so at that time, I already saw the age, and I was like, okay, based on age, I can't even wait to get married. This is a good opportunity because the truth of the matter is I was always going to be busy. And so I knew that. The second challenge that I had in my medical training was actually also taking seed. By God's grace, after marriage, I became fruitful maybe 5 months later. And so that was a thing in my second year of residency where I was like, oh my, how am I going to balance trying to get through the rigorous course of my medical residency, which required about 80 hours a week, really. When you think about all the working overnights, from day and night and in the hospital, that required a lot. And there were times where at 8 a.m. in the morning, I would feel nauseous. I would feel sick while I was pregnant. And so, but I still, again, kept the goal in hand, kept the vision in hand, kept the purpose in hand, and kept pushing and relying on my faith as well. That God said I can do this, all things I can do through Christ who strengthens me. And so if that aligns with you, then that's fine. But if it doesn't, that's still okay. But my faith certainly kept me grounded. And so that, I think with that, I was able to, again, realize that sometimes it's not going to be about a balance. It's going to be about prioritization. And there are times where I needed to give more of family, though family is always number one, but there are times where I needed to put in the extra hours of studying. Because the one thing about medical career is there's a lot of board exams that you have to take at any given time every year. There's some rigorous board exams, and that takes a lot of hours to actually study and take them. And so you need stamina. Not only do you need the knowledge, but the stamina to be able to do this. So, during a certain time, I would have to take care of my child. The other time I would have to study, but I would make sure that I was not doing all medical stuff and not being able to come home and cook for my husband and my children. And so I think that's the balance where you are in the career, but you have to also remember your home life, which for me, I made a concerted effort to know that marriage and my home ministry and my children was my first ministry. And though medicine was there, that was going to be another part of my life, but that was not going to be my priority. And so I was able to juggle and prioritize where I needed to be at what time I needed to be. And I think also what was important was knowing the seasons. There are times that my kids required more of me. In this age, this time, like for instance, my two sons are preteens. They require more of my voice. They require more of my presence. They require more of my, my influence and mentorship. And so with that, I had to decrease some of my hours at work. And so that took a little pivot. And so it's important to know your seasons and knowing that you have to pivot at times to be able to show up as your best self. The last thing I would add before I give it to the next person is that or our next speaker is that the other thing that I realized that was important was even when I was pregnant and I had my child, my son, I made sure I reached out for help to be able to stay in the place I was in to do my residency. I had to hire babysitters and nannies. I'm sure we'll get into that, what your structure would look like to help me be able to fulfill what I had to fulfill. And so I was never afraid to ask for help because I think in this International Day, We all want to be super mom and super women, but we also have to remember being super is knowing when you think you need help. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, what caught my attention so much is when you said you are always gonna be busy because yeah, it means that at some what happens about life is that at some point you are always going to be busy. So you just have to take a decision when you have to take a decision. So marriage is not something you can just say, okay, let me, what's at some point I have to take that decision. And I say kudos to you on that. And it's actually very, very insightful for the younger ladies that are here with us because in this call, we have a lot of young people out there who are actually dreaming to get to your level someday. All right. Let me come to Isabel. Isabel, so I'm going to ask you now, has there been any time that your career coincided with your personal or family life? And how were you able to navigate the process?
Thank you so much. And mine's a bit tricky because first of all, I'm not married. So,
Yes, it's
and
also
I
a very
think,
good opportunity for us to even learn from a person who is not having personal
yeah,
family like. All
right,
right.
yeah, but I think we all have these challenges either way. Once, so back in undergrad, I was part of the university's debating club because I always knew that I wanted to be in a place and a position where I could influence young women, and that would involve me doing a lot of speaking. So early on, I took that decision to work on like public speaking and just being able to communicate clearly. So I joined the university's debating club, and it was a lovely experience. But there was this time when an opportunity came up to travel for uh, pan, so they call it pan Nigerian university debating championship. So we had to travel to a different university to have that. But at the same time, I had to go home because my dad was ill and I had not seen him in a long time. So there was that conflict. I knew that attending that competition was the sort of break I needed because I had been debating for a really long time within the university, but had never traveled. But there was also that concern that my dad was like end of life, and if I go for this conference, I might not see him. And I'm really sorry about the noise. I'm in a hospital. My sister's having a baby, so I'm just somewhere with my laptop and cool, yeah. So there was that concern. And I guess just like the other speakers have said, it was about choosing. Well, there will always be tournaments, but I might not always have that opportunity to go back home to dad. So yeah, I killed that and I went home. And there's also another bit where you get to struggle with people you're in relationships with. So yes, I'm not married, but then I've been in relationships, and in one of such, there was that problem of being what's the word now, an overly ambitious woman. So then you have to prove that this is something you feel you're called to do, and then you just can't not do it. So it's a case of, are you going to sacrifice who you love over what you feel you've been called to do? And just like Evelyn said, I I believe in God, so I also feel like I've been called to do stuff, and I just cannot see myself not doing that. So that was a really it was very difficult having to choose my visions, my goals over that relationship. And of course, there's also the problem of knowing if that's the right thing you're doing. So yeah, it's just all of these little things. And I imagine it continues into marriage. But for me, the drive has always been knowing what I want to do and knowing that I have to do it. I mean, someone has to do it. So yeah, that's just some of my experiences.
Yeah, yeah. I love the sound of that, trying to choose between marriage and everything is important. Everything is important, and just like you said, all about prioritizing. But then your ability to navigate or to carry both of them along makes you whom you are today. And I'm happy you are. Like I always say, I always admire your sagacity, your comportment and everything. I see a lot of things you're doing online and all of that, and you're actually doing a great job. So thank you so much for that insight. And yeah, I'm sure that a lot of young people are learning, and their dreams will definitely come true one day. I wanted to talk to Linda. I don't know if Linda is there. Linda, are you there? Okay, Linda. Okay, okay. Can we speak with, okay, Ure, can you share your experience? Has there been a time that your program, your personal life has coincided with your career, and how were you able to navigate the process?
Thank you for the question, and thank you to the ladies for what they've shared. I'm going to take it from a different angle. In general, things you're able to juggle both. I would say that in general, I think every day is the season. Like every day, you have to choose between what you're going to compromise a little bit on, whether it's family or career. So for me, for instance, I started working and making money since I was 16. And,
Wow.
at one point when I was a teenager, I was making $100 an hour, you know.
Wow.
Um, so just like working and money had never been an issue for me historically, just by God's grace only, scholarships from school, like I said, side jobs, side gigs, all of these things. And it's interesting because, you're built or you're seen as a strong woman and you know yourself to be strong. But sometimes, depending, not for everyone, but sometimes God will allow something to come in your path that might derail you. So for the ladies they've talked about being able to balance all these things. In my case, I did lose myself and my vision because of choosing something over my career because I didn't have that fear. Like some people, let's say you grew up in Nigeria and maybe you didn't grow up with a lot of money, you might have that fear of I can't be poor, I can't be poor. I never in my mindset or my head ever saw myself as if you don't work tomorrow, you might be poor because I'd never and like I said, this is as an independent girl or independent woman. I'd never had that issue. So I was like, oh, if I, sacrifice a little bit of my career, I'll be fine, but then you do that, day one and day two and day 100 and day 300, and you keep doing that. What for me, it ate at who I was because my identity, which I did not grasp at the time, was in my career, in my independence, in my ability to provide for myself, in my, just all of that. So by choosing um, family or relationship over my career, I lost it. I lost the vision. I lost, Dr. Evelyn's talked about, being with God, and Isabel talked about it as well. You have this growing up, you have what you know to be your destiny. Like God has called you to do XYZ, but when you fall, it's how long you've fallen. So let's say you fall for 3 months and you pick yourself back up. It's easier to get back and jump back on the road and get back, going. But if you've done it for a long time and you've ignored yourself, you've ignored, you haven't been assessing how you're doing health wise, then it takes a lot. And some people never recover from a life point of view, from a career point of view, from a financial point of view. In my case, God was able to help me pivot to find, okay, do consulting. versus working corporates. When I was working corporate, when I got out of grad school, when I finished my PhD, I was working for a company that was taking me all over the world. Again, as a young girl in business class, staying in five-star hotels in Japan and in Taiwan, all these places, things I never would have dreamed of, but then to have when I lost myself, I lost that. I lost that privilege. I lost that opportunity. And it might never come back, So it's a daily women have to choose. When you look, you can, I think a number of ladies have talked about it. Okay, what's going to be there tomorrow versus what's not going to be there tomorrow. I've had the privilege of talking to and interviewing different women, and some of them would tell you, hey, yes, I had to sacrifice family and to get to where I am today. And then someone might say, well, I had to sacrifice career and I didn't get to where I could have gotten to because I sacrificed all those things. And Dr. Evelyn talked about this, about the support, the structures you put in place to make sure that you get to where you want to get to. So that getting into a relationship or marriage, you have to have, and I don't know how women do this, like women who got married at 18 and 20, you have to have that vision of where you see yourself and constantly go back to, am I still on track with that vision versus, so when you've started to lose yourself and you can catch yourself quickly. So in my case, in my answer, I did lose myself and my vision got blurry, but I was able to, and I, talk about that later, but I was able to find myself again and pick myself back up. And it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Hardest thing. I mean, I thought I was gone. I thought it was over for me. It took a lot for me to get back to where I am again now.
Wow, that's so inspiring. I mean, so inspiring. I mean, it touched my heart that you failed severally and you were able to pick up from somewhere. And this resonates with what I always tell the young people that we mentor at Edu Africa, that failures should not determine your your future for you. There will always be a time of failure. There will always be a time of challenge in life. Life is up and down. So, like most of them that are applying for application, there's always in a situation where some of them will say that they have applied and applied and applied, and they keep getting rejection. I tell them that rejection is part of this process. If you don't get rejected for an application, that means you're not a strong student. That's what I tell them. If you don't get rejected, you are not a strong candidate. So, but the rejection should be a motivation for you to stand tall and keep pushing. One day it's going to be there. Myself, I didn't get to where I am today by just one application. I did lots of applications, and even at some point, I got tired, and because I was like, me, I made a first class. I'm a lecturer. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Why are they not taking me? Are they mad? So it happens. It happens. So I love your resilience, and thank God you are aware. And I always like to hear the sound of the fact that you depend on God for all the things you have been doing, and by God's grace, you are where you are today. All right. So Linda, I come to you. Come to your table. So has there been a time in your career, family life, that these two things have clashed, and how were you able to navigate the process?
Okay, hello everyone again. Sorry I had to step out. There was no lights, I had to on the gen. I'm sorry for that.
Yeah,
Um,
I understand.
I like the fix here, the fact that you have married women and you have those that are yet to be married. And so when
Yes.
Isabel was talking, I said, okay, I have somebody that is within my bracket that, you know, we have maybe similar challenges and the rest. So I'm based in Lagos and working for a real estate firm. And so I took upon myself to also register my firm and start. It's a little beginnings. And then putting this thing together with a relationship for me hasn't been that easy. Why? Because I can be a bit very serious and too focused. And so for somebody who is too, should I say, over determined to actually carry on with career and relationship hasn't really been that easy. And has it worked? I would say yes, but it has not been rosy. And so as we know, living in Lagos alone is a very challenging situation. The traffic, the noise, real estate is a sales job, and anybody who understands what is sales, it keeps you on your toes. You're always thinking, you're trying to navigate. You have a deal with a client, and it's like, okay, I'm going to make payment today. I'm coming for inspection. You may end up not hearing from that person in the next 6 months. And in the heat of that, you come home disappointed, and your boyfriend, your fiance is expecting that you should call and, be in a very light mood. And for me, it's like, please, I'm not having it easy at work. I don't think I'm in the mood to talk or to, to discuss tonight. I just want to sleep. And in my case, it's a distant relationship. It's not someone in Lagos you can say, okay, let me go for a massage. Let me rest on his arms. Okay, can we meet here? Let me take you out so you don't feel so tired or disappointed. So I can say it's not really been easy, but a few things have kept me going. The first thing is prayer. In Igbo, they say Ojichuku Buruzo. So one thing that helped me with my partner is the fact that we prayed together, because sometimes it gets so difficult that I feel I can't really balance work and career and relationship. But one thing that has worked for us is prayer, that sometimes when we get overwhelmed, we can wake up midnight and pray. And after that prayer, you see there's a kind of calmness you have, and solution comes up even without you doing so much. So prayer has been what has been working for me. I think the married women here have already gained momentum. I've not really gained such momentum. I'm still building mine. And so God has been helping me through prayer. Another thing is clear communication. Because when two people are dating and terms are not cleared from the beginning, is a problem. You have somebody who feels that at every time I call you, you should pick your calls. At every time you're doing this, you should be doing that. It can get so boring. For somebody like me who can be on my toes the whole day, it may be from one meeting to another inspection, to a board meeting, to a Zoom meeting, to my MD saying, okay, we are sending you to Abuja with the next flight. We need you to go and open a new estate and come back. So I can get really, really busy. And God blessed me that I have a guy that if he knows I'm busy, he doesn't just call me. You know how distant relationships are. It's a gateway to say, where are you? Who are you with? But I don't get to see such disturbance. And so it gives me more courage to do what I'm doing. Another thing that has helped me navigate this situation is setting clear goals. Because if you don't set clear goals, you're going to have an issue trying to match up with your relationship and work. I like what I don't know if it's Dr. Evelyn who said that, or Dr. Bliss, that it's not as if it's going to be equal. It's not a matter of making work and relationship 50-50, but bringing that balance. Because obviously there are times work will demand more of your time and attention. And there are times that, career is going to demand more, and sometimes work. So you need a partner who respects you, who understands your vision, and then you are clear about it. So without taking much of our time, these two things I've been able to put in place to help me balance work and relationship. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. I think I can relate to some of your stories. Thank you. Trying to juggle all of these things, and you know, some of us are also part of this process because trying to juggle a distant relationship is not easy. Oh. Make you not help us. All right, thank you so much. I want to go to the next question like I said, if you have any question, if you have any contribution, make it known in the chat box. I believe that our secretary will call our attention to it. Maybe at the end of the event, we are going to look at that. All right. Let me start with you again, Dr. Bliss. I'm
Okay.
always rushing back to you. All right, so practical systems or support structures have helped you maintain excellence at work while honoring your family responsibilities.
Yeah, thank you so much, Stanley. Like, I really appreciate all the amazing women and their input in this discourse. And I think the second question, we have overlapping responses. But I just want to point out, based on what others have said, Urina and then Linda, in fact, everyone, we've all talked about support system, and I want to add, I think it was Dr. Evelyn who mentioned that it's okay to ask for help. Growing up, we used to hear, I want to be a strong woman. And our thoughts used to be a strong woman is an independent woman, the woman that does it all. You want to tell everybody I don't have house helps. I remember those times early in my marriage when some ladies would say, I'm doing this all alone. I don't have house helps. And sometimes we tend to lose ourselves while pursuing strength. But I want to say here that being a strong woman does not mean that you don't need the support system. Even the Bible says that two is better than one. So you need help, you need support system, you need family, you need an assistant if you need one. For me, I hired an assistant recently, and I'm telling you that life has been better for me. What does that do for you? It helps you to be focused. It makes you to be focused on those things that really require your attention. Remember, I said one of the things that helped me was setting my priorities. And again, I want to respond to Urena. Urena said, I don't know how women who married at 16, at 20, how they did it, and all of those. I agree with you that at that age, you don't really have clear vision. I know I had said earlier that I knew I wanted to be an impactful woman, but at that point, I did not even have the idea of you two can make it. Like, I never knew I was going to mentor students, but I knew I wanted to impact. And that was why I said, just write your vision. The Bible says that you should write your vision and make it plain. So I agree with all the ladies that self-care is very important. Reflection is very important. And why am I saying that? I'm adding it to what they said about spiritual grounding, which is all about prayers. I'm so happy that everyone is talking about prayers. But I'm telling you that the benefits of prayers far outweigh that God just answers us and helps us. No, prayers helps you to stay focused. It helps you to reflect on the journey. When you pray, somehow you become mindful. How do I mean? For example, let's say you're praying that you get a job, for instance, and you're doing it, with all your heart. What does that tell you? It means that the next day when you go out, you're already on the lookout. Could that be the job? Could this advert be that job that the Lord said he's going to give to me? So prayers does it all. So two things I've said here. Prayers, very important. Self-care. We need help for our self-care. We need help so that we can optimize our mindsets. Then somebody also said open communication. You need to communicate your vision with your children. We've been talking about partners, husbands. We need to communicate also with our children. For example, if you notice now, I have a quieter background. That's because I communicated earlier. I told them I'm going to have a meeting. Mommy is going to be talking. So please, I'm going to give you something, and whenever they come around, I look at them and they understand the language. So what does that send to us? What are the benefits? The benefits is that we all co-create together because they don't want to mess mommy up. Then another point I want to raise here is that some of the issues we have is that we are so afraid to think big. And I want to say, just like Marianne Williamson, that said that our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. I know a lot of us relate to this saying. It said, but our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. He said, it is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. So if you want to be a woman of impact, a woman who will grow very well in career, who will get to the pinnacle of her career, it means that fear will always come. But I just want to say here, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to think big. Do not be afraid to seek for help, for support. Look for mentors. Look for support, not just your husband, not just your children, even your colleagues in the office. Speak to them, and when they see your honest desire, I'm telling you that God will make one come true for you. And I don't know, because of our time, I would have loved to add more. I've talked about prioritizing what your needs are and creating time. I think it's Dr. Evelyn that mentioned that we need to sacrifice. Growing up, we learned about burning the midnight candle. You know, there are times where your body actually needs that sleep. But instead of sleeping 8 hours that we see in our medical books, you can give in 2 hours or 3 hours just to get some work done. So we need all of those. We need discipline. We need strategy. We need structure to make sure we balance both career and then our family lives. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much for those practical insights you just gave. I mean, they are so wonderful. I mean, communication, communication, communication. That's brilliant. And happy to let you guys know that Dr. Hilary has joined. She just sent me a mail. She I think the time zone thing affected her. So she was like, "Oh, I messed up." So I'm looping her into the conversation right now. Dr. Hilary, if you're there, can speak. I will put you on the
Hello,
call.
everybody. Yes, so my apologies because I'm not on daylight savings time yet. And so I was telling my husband, hey, babe, at 2 o'clock, I need you to like turn off the sports. And he's like, what are you talking about? It's like 2:45. I'm like, no, it's not. So my apologies, everybody. I've had a phone-free day, and that would have helped me. But we had power outages, water main breaks. It's been wild here. So I apologize, but this is on me. I forgot daylight savings time. So I'm so frustrated. Thank you,
We,
though,
we
for
understand.
allowing me to join at the end.
Yeah, we are here. I
Hmm.
mean, we are in the middle of this conversation, and we've had some conversations around how women have been able to juggle between their work and their family life. And we're also talking about the practical implications or the practical ways they have been able to juggle through. So, if you have anything to say on that, so we can have your input at the moment. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. Well, and I think I really, really wanted to hear what the other women were saying as well. And I think when you're looking at different generations of women, that some of that may change and the expectations may change. And I'm very curious about cultural differences as well with expectations. My family is a very mixed family of folks from different countries and different parts of the world. And so we all have these different understandings of what it takes to be, a mom and a partner and an employee. And so, I was thinking about that when you first asked me to participate. And I will say that I grew up with very strong independent women and quite a few single moms. So working was not an option. Working was something that you had to do. And so having that ingrained in me from my grandmother on down that, women needed to be independent, needed to be able to take care of themselves. And so I've always felt rewarded by my work. And my first career was social work, and then I went into the academy after about 20 years. And I thought, I always got a big sense of who I am from feeling like I'm contributing to a better society. And I think that's really helped me with the mom guilt because I would love to know what the answer is to not feel guilty because I always feel like I'm a part-time wife, a part-time mom, a part-time employee, a part-time mentor, and I just feel like I'm just divided in so many different directions and there's guilt. So no matter what I'm doing, there's guilt for what I'm not doing and running in the back of my mind is this constant refrain of you should be doing this, don't forget that, you've got to have that. I would like to tell all of you who still have young children that it gets better when your children are grown. That's not true. Just telling you that has not gone away. Now my children, some are in Florida, some are here, some are in another state, New Jersey. It's still stressful. Now we've added, grandchildren to the mix. So I'm like, great. Now I have another generation of guilt. I will say, though, having had strong women in my life and women that I've looked up to, and having a very, very grounded partner who is confident in who he is, who is proud of having a wife who's strong and who's successful and who's following her passion really made things a lot easier for me. So I do think having family and a partner that is supportive of what I want to do and who I am has made things a lot easier for me than I think other folks. I think about my grandmother who was a single mom. I think about times my mom was a single mom, and I always think about how hard that must have been for them when they were trying to build all of this together. But I will say the community of women really builds us up, and I think that makes a big difference. So I've got that little bit to contribute. We could probably talk about this for a whole weekend.
Yeah, yeah, thank you so much. I mean, that was a very nice insight, and bringing your own perspective from your angle as an American mom and different from the African mom. I mean, it's quite insightful, and thank you so much for that contribution. And remain on the call while I go to another person. So, Dr. Evelyn, I'm coming to you right now. How have you been able to what are the practical systems or the practical steps you've taken to in maintaining excellence at work while honoring your family responsibilities?
Mhm. Yeah, that's such an important question. So I have to say that one thing I have had to learn was delegation. Delegation, automation, just structures, and which essentially meant accent for community. I think I grew up as a type A personality. I think when you do medical school, you just become type A. Like everything has to be like this and perfect. So I had to let go of the fact that it doesn't have to be done my way. If it's done, and it's done. And so I think that there had to be a way I had to let go of some control. And for women, I mean, sometimes we have again, the mom guilt, like Dr. Hillary spoke about, the imposter syndrome, which is a whole nother thing. And so I think when you're battling the mom guilt, the imposter syndrome, and the type A personality, you want things a certain way. I had to let go of that to keep myself, because at the end of the day, when you do all of these things, if you die, God forbid, guess what? Your husband would pick up another wife. So I had to learn how to delegate so I can keep sane. Part of delegation meant I needed a babysitter. And in seasons where my kids were little, when I was going through the residency, I needed a live-in nanny. So you have to state what you need. And I did this in America. Yes, you could do this in America. Okay, because I know I saw when my parents were in Nigeria, they had nannies and they had helps, they had house help, we had drivers. So what makes you think that I'm going to be in America and struggle without those things? No, 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 no. I had to hire a driver at one point. I had to hire a nanny. I had to automate systems. So there are times maybe I cannot make it to the grocery store today. Guess what? Instacart. What else things help me? Reminders. As I'm aging now, reminders of, okay, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to have a calendar. I cannot walk around without my planner. For most people, their calendar is in their phones, and I do use that, but I still walk around with my little planner, which I'm looking around for it to just show you. Without this planner, like I can't keep it together, because now I'm in my mid 40s, essentially. And so I have to know that the seasons have changed and now I need help to do different things and to make sure that I don't forget doing this and doing that. And again, there was a season where I needed a driver for a little bit, but then there was a season where now I don't need a driver anymore. Like I'm doing everything, I'm picking up, my husband's helping, sometimes I'll call my parents in. They live in, a different state, but sometimes maybe the kids have a long vacation and I want to maybe step away with my husband. I need to delegate, mom and dad, can you guys come and help and stay the weekend? So looking for that community. And I was always the type that no one can drive my children, only myself or my husband. Oh no, I had to learn, I'm going to trust this soccer mom. And again, learning with boundaries of, you're going to know who to trust, right? So I had to get to know for instance, both of my children are in soccer and basketball. So there are times where I'm running late from school and I can't pick up from practice. I'll just call one of my soccer moms. Hey, do you mind getting my son, bringing him, here, so and so, or whatnot. Not all the time, but sometimes, maybe 10% of the time, I rely on a soccer mom to help me. But if not, there are a lot of women in mental facilities because we have told ourselves we need to do all of these things. Yes, there's and this is not a sign of weakness. Strength is asking when you feel like you've fallen short. Falling short does not mean you're not strong. And I think let's speak this up in International Day. We need to request for help. Women are sick. Some women are getting sick because we don't request for help. And if you feel like your husband is not the supportive type, there's other ways to request for help. And if you feel like financially, maybe I can't afford a driver or a nanny or a babysitter, there are other ways to have ask for help. There are different society, there are different YMCA's and all of these things that can give you things that can help with children and after school activities and different things that can help. That doesn't have to cause a large financial burden. But I've gotten rid of, and one thing I would always be thankful for is I got a cleaner because I'm not going around cleaning 4 different bathrooms. It's not happening. When I married my husband, he knew I can clean. I don't have to prove to him that I can clean. Okay. And initially, and again, as finances get better, you know what you can afford. Initially, I didn't have a cleaner and I was doing all the cleaning. But as the home became larger, we got to afford more. Guess what? I needed a cleaner at least once every 2 weeks. Doesn't mean I don't maintain my home because there is some things you as a woman also need to be able to do. I still know how to organize. I still know how to maintain my home, but I learned to outsource. But I don't outsource until I've learned the thing. So meaning, for instance, if I want to cook, yes, I want to be able to cook for my husband and my children, and I do. But there's one time a month when I may say, I'm going to cater that jollof rice. I'm going to cater that goat meat, and I'm going to have them deliver it to my house. I may do a takeout once in a while, but it doesn't mean that I'm less of a wife or less of a mother. No, I know how to cook, but I'm going to know when I need a little rest and ask for help. So I think we need to learn that we cannot just think that we need to do all of the things and all of the things. If our forefathers and our foremothers needed help, what makes you think in this day and age we don't? That's what I have to say for now.
Yeah, I truly love the sound of that. I mean, you are so practical. You are marvelous. I mean, that is very wonderful practical step. You know, outsourcing, doing a lot to be able to, because the goal is to have a very successful home and have a successful work. So your ability to, join these together by deciding what to do. I mean, how can I do this? How can I make sure that both of them do not suffer? And then devising a means of outsourcing is also very, very, even in academics, even in organizations, if I take it to the organization point of view, in most cases, if an organization is unable to achieve something, they outsource it because there are professionals who are there who can actually contribute and make them to achieve their objectives. So that is kudos to you on that. And that takes me to another person. Maybe I go to Isabel this time. Isabel, so what are the practical steps you have taken so far to juggle
Right. It's
between
it's
your
been it's
personal
been a
life?
great sorry, it's been a mind-blowing session so far. And
Yeah.
some of the things I will say that has been touched upon by the other amazing speakers. And one of it is communication. You just cannot overemphasize communication. And that's with family, as in your parents, your siblings, as well as people you're in a relationship with. So, like Linda, I'm also in a long distance relationship. So that has its own drama because you have to be present and show that as much as you are pursuing goals, you're not losing sight of the fact that you want to build this part of your life. So, and I'm in a relationship with with someone who's probably more ambitious than I am. He wants to be the governor of his state. So there's also that pressure to meet up. But yeah, it's talking about these things is making family, so my siblings know when to call me, they know when not to call, they know when I pick up the phone and I sound in a certain way, they understand that there's pressure. I can call them, I can cry. There are lots of times when I've gone in my family group chat and I just drop a message. Whoever's asked me to do a PhD, and it's just I want to lash out at them, but it's having that emotional support, building that circle of friends, of family, of people you can without any sense of guilt, bear yourself out too, and you know that it's a safe space. I'm grateful to God that I've got friends like that and I've got family like that. There's also something else I do, which Dr. Evelyn touched on, and that's using technology. I am not that old, but if something is not on my calendar, it's not happening. So yeah, I make notes. There are times when to even stay on top of things, like just talking, being in touch with family, I've had to set reminders, like weekly. There was a time I had a weekly reminder going to just call my mom because I found out that I was getting too usurped in work, that that part of my life was struggling. So yeah, I allot time to speak with family, to speak with friends as well. And there's also something I do, digital unplugging. So when it's time for family, I try as much as possible to keep things apart. So I'm not talking to my partner or talking to family. I may be chatting with someone else or trying to read up a research paper or whatever. It's about saying at this point in time, family is a priority. At this other time, it's my PhD. At another time, it just might be to sleep. So just knowing when not to meet, because we're living in a fast-paced world where you can just get lost in so many things. So I try to, as much as use technology to help myself, but I also know when to keep it on the side once it starts becoming a distraction. So yeah, basically four. I mean, there's so much of it, but for me, four things: it's communication, time allotment, um, creating and utilizing social and emotional support groups, and yeah, digital unplugging, knowing when to go off the
So
call and when
much.
not to. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that insight. Thank you so much. These are very, very insightful contributions to this. And I'm very happy that we have diverse audience and we have young people from different countries. I can see from here, we have people from Cameroon, we have somebody from, I think, uh, Ghana, we have people from Zimbabwe. Yeah. So then, of course, we have Nigerians here and even people from UK and all of that. So these insights are very, 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 very good, and they are learning a lot from the way you have spoken it. Prioritize, put things on check, putting things and making things, making sure that everything is in working in order. Thank you so much. And I would go to Linda this time. Ure, I'll come to you last on this. All right, Linda. So can you tell us the practical ways you've actually taken to juggle both your work life and your personal life?
Okay. I think so much similarities with Isabel. The first thing, as I said, is communication, clear communication. Sometimes I get so busy at work and I'm like, okay, let me run home and then, call my guy and then we can gist and we are happy. And on getting home to call him, he may not respond to you. And what you see is I'm in class or I'm doing a webinar or something like that. And, if you're not careful, you may get upset because you're stressed at work and you're feeling that coming home, you're coming to comfort. Even if you're not seeing that person physically, you can do through a call. And so when you come home and he's not available, it can get you very angry. So clear communication to understand that, okay, you're free at this time, but your partner may not be free at that time. And so you are able to, I'll call it flexibility. You're able to be flexible and know that times and situations can change. Another thing that's worked for me is time management. I had to discipline myself. Once I get home, I don't do any work calls because my job is the one that keeps you on your toes. Because of time difference, you may have a client who is based in the US and he needs to purchase a property. And at that time, it may be 2 a.m. your time here in Nigeria. So imagine a guy waking you up at that time. Maybe you're in a prayer session or you're talking with your guy or something, and somebody is calling you at that time. It's a bit odd. And then I found out that I kept on working like a robot. I have no time to rest. You leave the office, you get home after there's so much traffic we experienced in Lagos, and you are still working. So time management was a must for me. Once I get home, I don't do anything called still. I go to work the next day. And then another thing that worked for me is get your encouragers, get people that motivate you is very important. People will say, I've been there, I went through it. There was a time I was managing a distant relationship for even 5 years. You see people who have gone through what you've not even gone through, you know. So get your encouragers. And my first encourager is my mom. I'll always seek her advice. I'll seek, I'm going through this. What do I do? Sometimes I need to cry. I love crying. And she'll tell me, no, take it easy, one step at a time. Another thing I also looked at is teamwork and collaboration. Sometimes I can be a perfectionist. I believe that I'm the only one to do it and I do it well. But as Dr. Evelyn said, you will die and other things will continue. So I told myself, you can't keep, you cannot be everywhere. So as a unit manager in my firm, I have a PA. So she takes down the minutes of our meetings. She will send me reminders. Ma, we have to do this. This is what we have for tomorrow. We are going here and we are doing this. And then for my company I'm trying to set up, I had to create a group chat. And I made two people, my younger brother and one of my younger friends are mentoring. They serve as my PA. So they help me because they're the ones that can bring my attention to small details and the rest. So these are things that has worked for me. And obviously you need help. It cannot be overemphasized. From family, like Isabel said, there are times I will sound on phone. My mother will just tell me, okay, I'll call you back later. She will know I'm having a very hard day. Sometimes I'll be on phone and even my guy will be asking, how is work? Are you sure you've closed that deal? He knows that I'm really under pressure, so help is a must. When you need to talk to somebody, when you need to go out of your way, when you need to rest, when you need to call your mentor, whatever help you need at every point in time. You can't be everywhere and you can't do everything. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Like I always say, I always relate to your stories. Your stories are always kind of sings a bell to me. And one of the points which you made there was like when trying to juggle and trying to call your man and he's saying is this, is that. So I want to say justice to men. So as people are pursuing your goals also, because I think Isabel also mentioned about having a man who is also
Yeah.
career driven. And when you have such man and you're also pursuing your own career, you should also know justice for men. I believe men in the house. All right. Ure, let me come to you. What are the practical steps that you've taken so far to juggle between your family life and your work life?
Thank you for the question. It's an interesting one. It's something that I'm working on through my company, Anero Solutions Incorporated, is building or developing a program to help professionals be well-rounded so that you're succeeding at work and you're succeeding in the home. Because a lot of us, we might be doing very well at work, but then home is a complete mess, and you need structures and systems in place to succeed. So the previous question, I talked about being one of those who lost myself and who lost my vision, and I had to find it again. And in retrospect, getting to a place where I am like, there is so much power in failing and getting up. A lot of us we're afraid to fail. Even the way we grew up, our parents are, very pushing a lot for our success. So failure and for me, I never failed at anything. Had never failed. So it was a very uncomfortable place for me. But now, because of the things that went wrong, I know how to prevent those things from happening in the future. So, like with myself, in terms of support or systems, I'm constantly now more aware of my needs, personal needs. So before, let's say I was feeling sleepy, I might just say, I'll be fine. I can sleep later. Now I don't compromise on my sleep. Before, I'm a very methodical person. So let's say 7:30 a.m. I'm having breakfast. That's when I have breakfast. 12 noon, I'm having lunch. That's when I have lunch. At 6:30, I'm having dinner. That's when I have dinner. As opposed to, when I'm hungry, I eat. So people, the way, at least the way animals are, when they're hungry, they eat. You don't just eat like when you're not hungry, right? But I used to live a very somewhat rigid, somewhat rigid life, and I had to learn to um, just be mindful of my state, whatever it might be, emotional, physical, mental, at every point in time. So I would say that in terms of systems, I would divide it into two: internal system and external system. So the internal system is that constant gauging of my health and how I'm doing. And then the other thing is the work ethic, in terms of having excellence at work. Growing up, I think probably all Nigerians, our parents were like pushed us, you have to make A plus. A is not okay. 95% is not okay. You have to make 100%. So that's something that you learn. It's probably hard to pick it up when you're older. It's something that you should learn from when you're little. And like with my son, that's something that, I'm trying to teach him is that desire to succeed, and strive for the best. But then I also want him to learn that failure is okay. I don't know if you've heard of the CEO of Spanx. I always forget her name. I think it's Sarah Lively.
Blakely.
So, yes, thank you so much. She said something that I've never forgotten. She said that growing up, her father every single day would ask her and her brother, what mistake did you make today? And they would have to figure it out and tell him, and they would laugh about it. So for her, when she started business and she would fail and fail and fail, it was like comedy for her. She would laugh, like, what's the big deal? That's not how it is for me, at least before. It's like you're getting rejected or failing and failing. It's discouraging. But for her, failure was inevitable, like something she was completely comfortable with, and that helped her get to where she is. And that's something that I'm trying to learn from her, and having learning from where I was in terms of me failing, and trying not to fail in that same way again. I'm a learner, so I'm the kind of person who, in terms of succeeding with family, so I know the vision I have for my family, but then in addition to that is I'm a learner. So I can be hanging out with you. I can be hanging out with Dr. Evelyn, and she might be doing her thing with her husband, but she doesn't realize that I'm using the tip of my eye to watch how they relate, maybe to learn, oh, I like the way she did this for him, or the way he did this for her, or looking at my sister with her children and saying, oh, I love the way she, asked her daughter, this or that. Like, I'm constantly learning because I want to be as good as I can in family, with regards to family and with regards to career. Community, like, I would not have been able to get up from where I was and when I fell, if not for my community. I had my siblings give up. I mean, they're doing exceedingly well in their places of work, but they had to take off work to take care of me. Seeing that sacrifice, I was like, I didn't realize how much I was loved until I fell. And they were put in a place to take care of me. And I was like, wow, I never knew that they loved me this much. So now, because of my failure or because of my falling, we became a stronger family, like we all, because everybody had to hold hands to help me up. And so that really, really touched me. So even today, like with my mom, my sister, and we know, okay, mom, we need help with the kids. My mom will be like, drop whatever to come take care. And some of these things we can't succeed without the sacrifices that others make for us. And hopefully we make for others as well. So I would say the internal and external systems, making sure that we're healthy in our minds, and then having that community to pull us up and to teach us whenever we need so that we can succeed. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that insight. I mean, your insight is always very, very spectacular. I mean, and so motivational because you always come from the angle of failing and continuing again, people being afraid and all of that. And a lot of young people are learning from this. And I like that. I like that. And I also like the fact that you say you learn from time to time, you learn from people, you learn from others. And because life is all about learning. Even a professor is still learning. Yes, so because on a daily basis, you learn, you unlearn, and you relearn. Because the process of doing this helps you to get improved. You cannot say, oh, I have known it all. I know it all. I cannot learning is a process. Is a life process. Until you die, you keep on learning. So thank you so much for that insight. And like I said, the audience, if you have something, I think we have some contributions in the audience, but then we're going to look at that by the time we go over. But then this time around, please, um, speakers, just manage the time. Let's be able to manage our time in the next round. I want to come to you, Hilary. So Hilary, this time around, I want to start with you. I want to know from you, what is your perspective? I mean, to the young women out there who fear, because if you look at what Dr. Uriel was saying, she mentioned about people being afraid of pursuing their dreams. So what to the young women out there and the young women who are currently here on the call with us, who fear that pursuing big career goals might cost them their family life, what would you say to them?
I would say it won't. And I think one of the things that you're hearing from this panel of amazing women is that the recognition first is know yourself. I think being very honest with who you are, what are your strengths, what are your opportunities, what are your challenges, and to be bold and brave enough to say, I need help with this. The first thing we have to dispel is as a species, we've never worked alone. Men didn't hunt alone. Women weren't tending to the crops and taking care of the homes alone. They weren't raising children. This is like a really new thing, that this whole idea that we are these isolated individuals. We are made for community. But I think one of the biggest changes is women being secure in who they are and saying, I want more. I have more to contribute and more to give. And you're right. I think you were saying how much about that, what are our sacrifices for each other? So, as all the sacrifices that everybody makes to help each other be successful, what are the sacrifices we're willing to make for each other? But fundamentally, is be bold and be fearless and don't be afraid to say, oh, I need to learn more about this because I'm not quite sure I get this. And to Dr. Ellen's point, we really need to be able to say, help. There's just no way. There aren't enough hours in the day. So for young folks, I would say be fearless and be bold. We don't know what opportunities there are next. Women have led the way with their contributions in science and in literature, in the arts, in medicine. Women have led the way in innovative ways, and do not back down. Don't back down from that, and make sure that you also, if you're not feeling confident, find somebody who's going to help you feel confident. Learn a new skill, and listening to the ideas about how to harness technology, how to be organized, how to let go, when is good enough, good enough. And then for me, I think patience and a sense of humor are really foundational to how I navigate things, because life is hard. There's a lot going on internationally as Americans. We're the bad guys again, and it's just a hard space for those of us who are here in the States. And how do you channel all of this going on so that you can live out your dreams? And I think that's really important. So for me, I would say be bold, be fearless, make sure you know yourself and know your value. I think knowing your value is really, really important. So,
Yes. Thank you
thanks.
so much for that insight. I'm so overwhelmed by that, your insights. When you were saying it, I was just relating it to my fiancée. My fiancée is she's a go-getter. She goes for what she wants. She doesn't fear. I mean, one of the things that made me to fall in love with her is that she's a go-getter and she knows her worth. And I love her for that.
And I think
So,
she's smart enough to have picked well as well. That also
yeah,
makes a difference.
yeah, she's a very wonderful lady, and I say that a lot of ladies can actually look at her, the younger ones can actually look at her and learn from her. Thank you so much, Dr. Hilary, for that insight. And I will go to you now, Dr. Bliss. Um, what in less than 1 minute to 2 minutes can you just advise young women out there who are afraid of pursuing their career? What can you tell them from your own
Yeah,
perspective?
Yeah, thank you so much again, Stanley. And just to add my voice again to what all the amazing ladies have been saying, I just want to use you as an example. You know, you just mentioned a little about your relationship with your fiancé, and I just want to advise them that, you see, while we talked about communication, in every relationship, especially that will lead to making a family, you need to communicate your vision. Your vision has to align with that of your partners. That's the
Yes.
only way it can work. Otherwise, the family will come crashing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very important you communicate your vision, you understand yourself. Dr. Hilary said, know thyself. Yes, it's of course, life is not a solo journey. We keep learning, unlearning, and relearning. Okay, so don't be afraid, like everyone has said, to take up your career and your family life. Both of them are not mutually exclusive. They can all work together. For me, I come from a large family and I've never seen myself, doing journey, doing career without family. So they were all in the picture. So when my husband came, we talked about my vision, and that's why it's working. So for me, I think the final my contribution for the singles, for people who are afraid, is that please do not be afraid. It is your light that you're afraid of. So do not shrink your light to fit into very small vision just because you don't want to think big, you don't want to juggle big career. You're like, oh, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, for example, how does she do it? You can also do that. You can be amazing in your career. Only take away fear, get the right support system around you, communicate rightly, prioritize your time. A lot has been said about prioritizing time management. Know how you want to navigate life and trust God enough that He's in the picture and He's going to make you achieve all your very huge success. So, but I know I've taken time, but I just want to take this moment to appreciate all the male support system. For me, I appreciate my husband, and I know there are other men like him who have been really supportive. When you see a woman doing well, just like we hear behind every successful man is a woman, I will also say for every successful woman is a successful man. Sorry, is the right supportive husband or partner. Because life cannot be done alone. It's not a solo journey. You need someone to compliment you, someone to motivate you. A lot of people said they cry like myself. You need to talk to somebody who will tell you that you can actually achieve your dreams, and together we can make it become whatever we want to achieve. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Blaze. I mean, you are really inspiring. I mean, your stories are very, very inspiring. I have in several occasions followed you on and seen what you are doing on LinkedIn, and I mean, you are an example to a lot of young people out there. So thank you so much for that insight, and may God continue to bless you to keep doing what you're doing. So I come to you now, Dr. Evelyn Dekolu. So in 1 to 2 minutes, can you just uh, advise young people, young ladies out there, what are they supposed to do? I mean, how, what should they do in order not to be afraid to pursue their dream?
Yeah, thank you again. So I would say that do not be afraid. I think that oftentimes when we challenge ourselves, we grow in a different way. I think that challenge and wanting a dream for yourself and having purpose and having a vision is very important. And I would not say I would ever want to shrink that because of things around me or some other goals and things like that. I think that is about praying for the grace to be able to do it all the way you want to do it, like the way you have set out your vision to be. How do you do that? And so for me, faith is big. I would say that, and we talked about systems and structures, but I would also say that if you're planning on pursuing a big vision or your dream, I would make sure that you also marry well. I cannot underestimate the importance of having a partner that is not intimidated by your dream and that does not look down on your dream and does not motivate you to do better. So it's very important to pick your partner, just so that if your vision is, if they understand your vision, they can help provide support. If they themselves are a man of vision, they can also understand a woman with a big vision. So I would never shrink my dream because of a partner. So just make sure you marry well. So that's one thing. The other thing I would say is choosing your support systems. If you want to be a medical doctor, it's nice to have a mentor that does that. If you want to be great at different things, whatever it is, try to get a mentor or a coach that can show you the shortcuts to get in there. Oftentimes, we have pitfalls, but maybe the person who just got to that place can say, "Here's how you avoid that pitfall." They can coach you through it, mentor you through it, and make you get there a lot faster than you would have without a mentor. So I think it's always important to look out for a mentor. And the last thing I would say is do not let somebody else define what success is to you. Maybe success is for you is not working full time. Maybe success for you is working from home, whatever it is, or being, a housewife or being a stay-at-home mom. Whatever success looks like for you, never feel like social media or the world needs to define that for you. Always remember that at the end of the day, it's about they say when you die, die empty. Like, how do you feel like you've lived out your purpose and have been impactful in this world? So I think it's always remember those things. And thank you so much again for your time and your attention. And Stanley, thank you again for your invitation.
Yeah, thank you so much. I love that very point. Marry right. Yes, if you're marrying, try to marry someone who has like similar vision with you. You don't just have to get married because you want to get married. You marry somebody whom your vision aligns. Just like whenever we are applying for PhD, we will always write that, oh, from what I've seen, your research interest aligns with, you can say my research interest aligns with the research interest of Dr. Nepal, and then it means that you want to be in this department because you have seen someone whose research interest aligns with your own. And then it means that you're going to learn, you're going to be mentored. You have someone who can mentor you in that department. So taking it to family life, you need to marry someone whose goal aligns with your own so that you will have, because when you are, if you marry someone whose goal does not align with you and you are saying A, the person is saying B, and at the end of the day, that relationship or that marriage is going to crash. So, and you don't want to get into that. So thank you for that insight. And I love the sound of that. I come to you, Linda Bigwell, on this. So what is your advice to the young people out there who are afraid of going for what they want?
Okay. I think the other amazing speakers have done justice to this question, but there's something I want to point out. Hillary said, know thyself. Dr. Evelyn and Dr. Bliss stressed on, even if you know yourself, get a supportive partner and do not be afraid. But I want to say, I want to put more light on mentorship. If you get the right partner and you get help and you marry right and everything, and you don't have somebody coaching you, I think at some point in time you may make some mistakes. So look at those there should be people you look up to, mentors that reflect where you are going to. So try to get close, watch their podcasts, get mentors you can talk to them, book for sessions. They will help you navigate many of the issues that you will come across. So mentorship for me is a must, because if I say I've gotten to this point and I've been able to navigate some of the issues and challenges I've faced, mentorship has worked for me. And then I also want to say, try to avoid being afraid, because fear will only belittle you. Challenge yourself always to do things that you think you can't do them. My MD will say, every week, do something you thought you could never do. Call that client you think you can never talk to. Take that move you've been thinking of for so long. Stop procrastinating. Do it now. So take away fear, get mentorship, and with the right partner and prayers, I feel you can navigate. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, and thank you for that insight. Just like I always say, um, I have a fiancée who is always focused and who goes for what she wants, and she has really made lots of impact in my life since we met, and she has a goal. And I also always call on the younger ones to always listen and always follow these kind of people. Um, Thank you so much for that insight. So I go to you now, Isabel. What
Yeah,
advice do you have? Just in 1 minute,
yeah,
because
thank you so
we
much.
want to hear from audience. Maybe after I finish speaking with Ure, we may have to
Well,
hear from the audience.
I think I may have missed out on what the other speakers said because I had to run. But one thing that has stood out for me is that you always remember your why. Because if you have that at the front of your mind, then it's easy to navigate these things because there'll always be challenges. I just put down in my note, balancing career and family might just be one of them. So if you're quick to chicken out of issues, then it's possible that you'll keep doing that in every other area of your life. So just know that that might just be one more challenge you need to get through to reach the top. Your dreams are valid. If you have them, then it just means, or it might just be an indication that you should hold on to them. And I think the other speakers too have touched on seeking support and building networks. They're very important. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. If someone's done it before, you might as well just learn from them and shorten the time. So yeah, have the right people in your circle and you'll just be fine in the end. So yeah, those are the things I just put down. Yeah. And of
Okay,
course, they've touched on partners. You can't overestimate that. Yes. Yeah, no,
thank you
having
for
a
that.
partner who would always be there to say do it, even when you don't want to do it. Yeah, it's key.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
And when you were like speaking, I remembered in Edu Afrique, we have lots of ladies who are struggling and who actually go for what they want, even in the midst of challenges. I permit me to mention one of them, Magdalene. She is one of our winners. She won our scholarship for last year for this current process. We are we paid her application fee to some schools in the US, and fortunately, the announcement that was made recently affected her admissions into the school, and this lady did not relent. She kept on pushing. And, earlier this year at Edu Africa, we took a decision to halt payment of an application fee for some people that are applying to US from the countries that are affected with this current announcement. But do you know that this lady's resilience made us to redact that decision just because of her? Because um, she, in the spite of the challenges, was able to secure a professor who was ready to supervise her. And what the professor told her, she walked me through the conversation with the professor, and what the professor told her is, go ahead and apply. If you are unable to, if the ban is not lifted by June, we will defer your admission to 2027. And that inspired me so much, and we had to pay her application fee and submitted that admission application for her. So it means that even in the midst of the challenges, some people still go for what they want, even with the decision. Because when she emailed me and said, I told her, were you not aware that we decided that we were going to pay for people that, because from the look of things, you are from the country that was banned, and we are not supposed to pay, because if we make the payment, it's like a waste of money. But she kind of continued to pester me on. I was able to look at her own case. Her case was a peculiar case, and we had to go ahead and pay for her application fee. So this is very wonderful so much. And thank you so much for that insight. And thank you. And Urena, Dr. Ure, I come to you for this. What advice in the next 1 to 2 minutes do you have for young ladies who are afraid of pursuing their dreams?
Thank you. I think the other ladies have already said it, is to not be afraid, to know what your vision is and to go for it. And some people say, do it afraid, do it afraid. When I was getting up from when I fell, I had many fears. I had many fears, but I had to stand up in spite of the fears and say, you know, just expect the best, like talk yourself through it until you do what or achieve what you want. Let's think about a snake. A snake is a certain size, and you would assume that it can only eat something that's within the size that it is. But you see it eat a big animal, and what you see is the body of the snake will expand to fit the animal is eating, and then it will swallow the animal, and then you see the snake expands. A good relationship or marriage is one that no matter what life throws at you guys, the person is willing to work with you to expand or shrink or whatever. You guys are working together in tandem. Just, what it's going to succeed if both of you are on the same page. It says, can two walk together except, what does it say? Can two walk together
Except they
except
agree.
They don't
except they
agree.
agree. Except they agree, exactly. So both people have to be in agreement. But as you can guess from what I've been talking about the last 1 hour or 2 hours, I always look at things from the other side. So some people are going to be with people who are not supportive. You're not going to be with a man who's not supportive. You're going to be with someone who pushes you down. You're going to make certain decisions that are not ideal. So, for instance, women, when you're getting in your mid-30s and you're like, I have to get married because I have to have a baby as soon as possible. And then you throw out all your standards because you need to get married, you want to have a baby. So you end up acting from a desperate point of view. I would say, and when you found yourself in that place, because 10 years down the line, you'll probably be annoyed with the guy if he's not up to par with in terms of ambitions. You want to make sure through every single day of your relationship that somebody's going to treat you how you allow them to treat you. So if, let's just say worst case scenario, God forbid, the man slaps you the first day and you're like, okay, maybe he just had a bad day at work. It's all good, no problem, and he does it the second day and you say the same thing. It's going to be harder 2 years down the line when you want to fight back. But if from the beginning, when he does that, you caution him, or you leave the relationship, whatever the case may be, then the person knows they can't try certain things. I've seen men that in one relationship, they were nasty. And then in another relationship, they were, because they were with a tough woman that didn't take nonsense. They became someone completely different from who they were in the previous relationship. So whatever case you may be in, whether you married someone who was below your standards or that's not supportive or whatever, sometimes the way you handle yourself and having a life, a community outside of that relationship and succeeding in spite of that relationship, the person will have no choice but to figure out how to match up with what you want. So life is not always going to work out the way we want, but we can't live by fear. We have to live and make sure that we succeed in whatever we're doing. So that's my 2 cents.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you for that insight. Thank you so much. And you've really like what you just said, like a summary of everything. And your insights are valid, your points are very valid. And just like every other person is saying, marry right, marry someone who has the same view, the same value, the same vision with you, so that both of you will join hands together and move forward and move the family to a greater height. All right, so I think Dr. Hilary has something to say.
I just wanted to say one thing because you've all made me think about something in a different way. My husband and I have been together since we were 23. So we've been together
Wow.
forever. And what's interesting is, we met in college. It was just one of those things. You find each other and you're young and you don't know what you're doing and you are just you find someone because you're attracted to them. But I think it's important to also recognize that we change over time and our relationships change over time. So when you're thinking about, I say about everybody talking about finding the right partner, hopefully finding someone who grows as you grow and you give each other the space to be who they are and to support and nurture their dreams and goals as much as they're supporting yours. And I will say that, we're going to be at 40 in a few years. So, we've been together a very long time. And I just wanted to point that out. And it's finding that right person, and that person's going to evolve over time, hopefully, as you do. So I just wanted to say that makes things a lot easier.
Wow. Thank you, guys. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, ladies, so much. I love the conversation today. It's been so insightful, so educative, and so motivational. And I'm very happy to be part of this conversation and listen and learn from you all. Uh, must confess, I learned a lot of new things today, honestly speaking. I don't know. Do we have anybody from the audience that has maybe either contribution or like question, or we just want to give like 2 to 3 minutes to people from the audience. If you have something to say, you can raise your hand and just 1 minute. Okay, I can see the hand of Isaiah Samuel Chukwode. Well, you have the floor now, and then um I think the men folks are coming up. Isaiah, you have the floor. Let's hear from the perspective of men.
Okay. First and foremost, I want to commend every one of you. I've learned a lot, and I read the profile of every one of you, and I realized that the person that wrote it was not exaggerating your words. Because from what you guys have been saying,
Yes,
I must confess that you people are women of great value. And, I'm somebody that, I don't know, because the love I shared with my mom, may her soul rest in peace. Ideally, by now, I should be talking with her because we have like Sunday dates. We speak together every Sunday. And one thing my mom what she did was that she was not economical with love, like trying to be there for everyone, her husband, her children, and in fact, everyone. And I realized that based on one or two experiences that in this generation, or even the generation before us, I feel like most men failed. And as a result, we noticed that due to, let me say, traumatic experiences of some ladies, seeing that maybe their parent failed, they are trying to like make demands that are that are very self-centered, which is currently leading to something I consider gender war, not feminism, as they may portray it. And that's why I would have preferred that maybe one of the panelists should have been people within the Gen Z frame, because I realized that some of them have very, very unrealistic expectation. Although they are very audacious, but I feel like some of them need to actually learn from this woman. As you can see, they commend their husband. You can tell that they also bring peace to their husband. They don't need to tell you. You can see that they are very understanding, and that is why they have an understanding partner. I desire to be married one day. I'm not ashamed to say that. But I would want to marry someone that will make my life easy, while I also make the person's life easy. But here, it's not about women, because all these questions have been centered around what are you guys doing? Now, what do you want from us men? How do you want us to make your life easy? What do you want us to do so that we become like responsible men? And what do you mean by like men, like standard? How can we like operationalize? I don't know if I'm using too academic language. How can we actually define a standard to a point that it is not self-centered, that it enables like teamwork or collaboration? When someone say, I have this certain standard and this standard is just selfishness, like it doesn't like encourage coexistence, because I feel like within my cycle, I have like a lot of responsible men. A lot of us like are quite responsible, and we also would want to become like the best husband, not because we grew up seeing like the perfect marriage, but because some of us came from a broken home. We don't want broken home to come out of us. And like most of you here, you guys came from like a privileged background. Even while you guys were back home in Nigeria, you had like nannies around you. Well, from where I'm coming from, I never had nanny. Even though I live in the United States, I wish my wife would have that because I would like to support my wife to that point. But I would like to know, what do you want us to do, we generation of men to do? It seems like most ladies are angry. If you go to social media, especially Nigerian social media space, you will realize men are this, men are scum. And I know I'm not a scum. I know that like I mean well to my wife, I mean well to my future partner. But I want to ask from the women, please, what do you want us to do for you guys so that we'll be the best friend, the best husband potentially, or the best colleague given at workplace? Thank you.
All right, so ladies, they have asked you. Anybody can answer this question. You say, what do you want? If men are asking the question, what do ladies want men to do to make you ladies happier than you are today? So that, because the social media, like he said, is saturated with lots of insights. So any of the speakers can just answer the question, please.
Yes,
If you
can
have
I go
anything.
ahead and just can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Yes, we can hear you.
Can you
Go
hear me?
ahead.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you can. We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. 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 All right. The question actually got me laughing here. I think that's a very that's a very sensitive question. Yeah,
Very
because
sensitive.
because we have different personalities. You know, what is good for me might not be good for another lady. But I think generally women need supportive men. We just need support from men. For example, in marriage, you don't have to watch your wife do all the jobs in the house. She comes back from work and she still goes to the kitchen. She does everything for you. Like I think one of us mentioned that, you know that I know how to clean the toilet, for example, but because you want everybody, maybe your family, to like praise your wife, so you want her to work out her life, some women actually lose pregnancies because of house chores, excessive, getting themselves so busy at work and even in the house and the home front. So try to support your wife, try to be understanding, try to know your wife, know where it pinches her most. Communicate when you see that she does not look good. Ask her what the problem is, and go ahead to help her. That's just one point I want to add here. I think other ladies can add their voices.
Oh, thank you so much. I don't know. Okay, let me get from Micah. I don't know if you have suggestion, or Micah, you can unmute yourself and speak.
Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. I'm using the headphones, so I don't know. But Stanley, I must tell you, like, I've attended lots of Edu Africa sessions. This is up there. This is the best.
Thank you for
You
that.
did an amazing job, and the panel, everyone was well grounded. Like, I've learned so much. Like, as someone's potential husband, there are certain things that have been said that there are certain things, just like even Chooks pointed out, right? And it's been amazing just hearing this perspective. And it's International Women's Day. Women have played like a very great role in my life. Just like Chooks, I don't have a mom anymore, but just seeing how my mom was, I can tell that women put in so much to make the family what it is today. So I don't have much of a question, or I just wanted to commend you guys at Edu Afrique and the panelists. All of you have like made this session one of the very best, if not the very best. And thank you so much for all that you are, all that you do to make our lives better in one way or the other. And God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Micah. Thank you for that contribution. And I wish to use this medium to because just when you and Chooks talked about your losing your mom, I'm also in the same category with you guys. I mean, watching my mom when I was young, this morning, when I woke up, I wanted to post my fiancé, post my sisters, post my brother, post my other ladies that I know. I said no, this time around, let me go another route because I did not actually experience mother's love when I was young. I know how my mom so much loved me so much, but unfortunately, she's not here today to see me. So I decided to celebrate her in date today. And I am using her as a point of contact to celebrate other moms who have lost, who are no longer here with us, like the mother of Micah, the mother of Chukudi, and all of that. May God accept their souls. And we, just like you guys said, I love this conversation. It has a lot of insights to pass, and I thank all the speakers for their contribution to this conversation today. It's really an amazing conversation, and I'm so happy to hear from all of you. It was very, very insightful, very, very wonderful. And I don't want to be I would say the vote of thanks generally, but then I want to call on, uh, there are some of our beneficiaries at Edu Afrique who have volunteered to say words of thank you to you all for coming here today. We have a lady and a guy. We don't want to. We want to have two persons to say vote of thanks to all our speakers. So, and I will start from ladies first. Asonia, Mercy, if you're on the call, I would bring you up to the stage. You can put on your camera and we'll bring you up to the stage, and you say a few words of, in the next 1 to 2 minutes, say a few words of thank you to the ladies who have actually um, made you guys happy today. Sonia, if you are there, I think I brought you to the stage. You can unmute, and if it's possible for you, put your camera on, and then you have the floor right now. Sonia Messi, you're on the stage now. Sonia Messi, are you there? Okay. Sonia Messi, if you're not there, okay, all right. I wanted to go, you see, I wanted to say ladies first because it's Women's Day. I wanted her to go first because two persons volunteered to say vote of thanks today, a lady and a guy. Okay, but since Sonia Messi is not coming up, is Derek Amfosa, are you there? Derek, if you are there, I will add you to the stage now and for you to say vote of thanks to the audience, to the ladies who spoke to us today. Derek, are you there? You can unmute and speak. I brought you to the stage. Derek.
Hello, everyone.
All right, yeah, we can hear you.
Sorry for, I think I'm having,
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. We wanted to hear you're having some network challenge. These are two beneficiaries of Edu Afrique who have benefited from some of our scholarship opportunities. Swanya Messi is one of the students that we gave award of the best graduating student from Michael Abara University in 2023. We gave her award from Edu Afrique. She graduated as the best student in her college, and we gave her some cash gifts and also an award. But the cash gift is not much of our concern. Much of our concern is to mentor her, to make her to be on the stage like these ladies that are here today to speak. So, Asanya Messi, I think my camera is on now, so you can speak. You have the floor now.
Yeah, good evening from here. It's an opportunity to be among great minds. I really learned a lot, and I'm opportunity to give a vote of thanks first of all, I want to thank God Almighty for the success of this special broadcast. It's one that made it possible. And to education scholars, African scholars, Global Connect, for the initiatives, to our founder, Dr. Charles, Dr. Stanley. Thank you so much. To all the great minds who spoke, Dr. Hilary, Dr. Sheshi Bliss, Oyedikachi, Dr. Evelyn, Miss Isabel, Dr. Rina, Mrs. Linda. I really learned a lot, and I am very, very sure that people who joined this special broadcast also learned a lot. I feel like I'm managed home and career and unsuccessful at both. Thank you. And to the great mind behind this special broadcast, Dr. Stanley, thank you very much, sir. We'll continue to bless and strengthen you and give you more wisdom to inspire people and impact lives. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Just please, just a kind of a point of direction. I'm not yet a doctor, Beck, but I'm working towards that. But I'm working towards that. Thank you so much for that acknowledgement, and thank you for thanking us. And just like we always say, what we do at Edu Africa is to connect people, to connect the younger ones with the elderly ones, for mentorship, for assistance in any way. So we discovered Sonia Mercy as one of the top students who graduated with first class honors, and she became the best in her college. And we decided to, because of her, we had to go into agreement with the Department of Industrial Relations and Personnel Management of Michael Abara University, where I came from, to be honoring every student that come out with first class, because I am the pioneer first class of that department. And I said, okay, since we have a platform like Education African Scholars Global Connect, let's use the platform to always say, motivate the younger ones, because we know that when we appreciate them this way, the younger ones that are coming up, we look at them and learn and want to be there one day. So Mercy is also going to pursue her master's, and Mercy, try to connect with most of the speakers here, because why we bring the speakers and we also bring you guys together is for you people to connect with them. And I know that most of them are very busy people, and they hardly reply to your messages. But if you attend this kind of program, and you can possibly mention this program in your message to them, oh, I was at the program this, and I listened to your voice. Please, can you help me in this? I think most of them will give you listening ear if you do that. So we understand the power of referral. We understand the power of a mentorship. So thank you for thanking them, and we continue to encourage you to pursue your dream. Your dreams are valid, and your goals will be achieved. Thank you. I don't know if Derek, your network is getting better now. I don't know if your network is getting better now. You can mute and speak. I'm sorry about that. But do you have a better network now?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I think we can hear you now. And you're in a dark place. Yes. Please forgive us. They are all from Africa, and most times this is our night period, and we may not have light. I'm sorry, Dr. Hilary. I mean, you may not understand this, but this is where we come from. Okay, all right, Derek, you can go ahead, please. Derek, I think we can hear you when you said, "Can you hear me?" Derek is speaking from Ghana. Asonia is speaking from Nigeria. Derek is speaking from Ghana. So we decided to get one person from Nigeria, one person from Ghana, so that we will have a kind of a very nice, like a diversified vote of thanks. But I don't know. We want to hear from Ghana. Ghana, what is happening, please? I think Chukwudi is raising his hand. Chukwudi.
Yes, it seems like the first time I spoke, it seems like the focus was on the question I asked. I know it sounded funny, But I want to say thank you, all of you. You guys did a very good job. You people are very amazing. This is the best webinar seeing this organization host. I am also one of the beneficiaries of this organization. I'm here in the United States as a result of this organization. And I would encourage every one of you to contact that demands around men and still be peaceful around us. We also want peaceful women like you people. And it's one of my prayer points that I get someone like one of you, because I feel like you guys are trophies. You understand? So you are trophy wives. So we love what you people did today. And it is my wish and desire to continue seeing people participate, honoring our invitation. Any day I see any of you on the flyer, I promise to attend. So I did not regret spending hours listening to you people. Ideally, I was supposed to be maybe doing a research, but because of the quality of what is actually coming out of your mouth, I spend the entire hours listening to you all. So we really appreciate your presence here. God bless you all.
Wow. I wish they are still single. Otherwise, I mean, but
Eligible bachelors.
unfortunately, Choku Chooks, all of them are taken. So who can swear? All right. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you all for your active participation. I think we've lost Derek completely. It's okay. Now, on behalf of Education African Scholars Global Connect, I want to say a very big and marvelous thank you to all the speakers for your active participation in this conversation. It was just a short notice that I gave, and all of you said yes to it. I feel so elated. I feel so happy that you all made our time and took this very seriously, and you guys impacted on these young ones. As you can hear from them, they are saying it. And this is one of the, I mean, I was going through the chat box and I was seeing lots of conversations going on there. Thank you all for sparking this day. In fact, this is one of the best International Women's Day I have celebrated in my life. And you guys made it great. Thank you all. Thank you all. And as we move on, just like I said, what we do at Education African Scholars Global Connect is to connect the younger ones with the elderly ones. And from time to time, I will be knocking in your DM for one thing or the other, because these young ones, we are hosting programs from time to time. Very soon, we are going to open our portal because we plan to host a 12-week skill acquisition program, which should start sometime in summer. And from time to time, we might be calling on you guys to host one of those things. So we have a selection committee that we've set up, and we can even also call you guys in one or two occasions for you guys to judge, because we are going to have lots of competitions within the year round, and we might be calling on you guys to judge the things and all of that. So from time to time, I and my team will be coming to you people's DM, and we hope that you guys honor this invitation, just like you honor today's invitation. As you can see, it is beneficial to all of everyone that attended. So thank you all for coming here today. Thank you for attending, and may God continue to bless you all as you pursue your dream, as you pursue your goal. Thank you for all the things you have been doing. I watch you guys on social media. I follow all of you on social media, and I'm very happy. And thank you in a special way, Dr. Hilary. Just in a short notice, just like you tried to be here, and you've been here, even though the time schedule or the time zone uh, tried to mess up things for you, but then you still try to be here, and you were here, and you made impacts today. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thanks
Doctor.
for this wonderful opportunity to participate. And again, I'm so sorry that I was an hour late. I was on time as far as I knew. So it was a wonderful panel, and thanks for including me. This was just inspiring. It's inspiring no matter what your age, even if you're Gen X and not Gen Z. So I found it very inspiring as well. Thanks so much.
Yeah, Yeah, of course. Just like Chooks said, this is recorded session. I mean, the Gen Zs are going to hear it because we are going to put it out there, and the Gen Zs are going to hear all the insights you've made here. So, like I said before, on behalf of Education African Scholars Global Connect, thank you all, and I'm happy to be your host today, and I will keep hosting you people from time to time. Happy International Women's Day to you all, and have
Thank
a
you.
blessed day.
Thank
Thank
you.
you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah.